All right, folks. There was a very nice event that happened in Butler, Pennsylvania. Like I said, big LGBTQ rally here.
YMCA.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he uses the YMCA. Think about that. He uses YMCA all the time. Butler rally looks like it has 80-90K in attendance, says Matt Jordan. Kamala can't get a fraction of this. All right, that's not 80-90K. That's an impressive crowd, but it's not 80-90K. The New York Post, Braveheart, 20,000. That seems more like it. That seems like a more realistic estimate. Yeah. Like Paul Simon in Central Park, that's 100,000. That's an endless sea of people. This was not, I mean, it was a good crowd, obviously. It wasn't 100K. 20,000 witnessed Donald Trump's triumphant return to Butler, Pennsylvania. So we'll take a look here. This is a moving image of the crowd. There's no sound on this video, but obviously quite the big crowd. And it was obviously a smart decision to come back to Butler, Pennsylvania to grab some headlines. I mean, this definitely grabbed the news cycle today, and now you're in October where the news cycle becomes very important because the race is so close. And as these macro issues of World War III and inflation and immigration, and now obviously, probably most importantly, the hurricane come into focus, this is when these big issues can really hurt the incumbent party, and they might. And Butler, Pennsylvania was the site, obviously, of the most tumultuous day of the campaign, but that was also the last day of the campaign where Donald Trump looked like the prohibitive favorite, like the prohibitive winner. Ever since then, it's been one disastrous decision after the next. And so to sort of come back here for a star-studded reset and get a crowd like this was obviously a smart move. And as you could see, it was a success by all objective measures there. Quite the big crowd. Donald Trump, as he teased out a couple weeks ago, began in very savvy style.
Thank you very much, really, and thank you, a very big thank you to Pennsylvania. We love Pennsylvania. And as I was saying, oh, I love that. I love that chart. I love that graph.
But he was not alone. Of course, he brought Elon Musk with him. Now, this guy claims the full video was censored. He didn't exactly mention where it was. But here's Donald Trump introducing...
Instagram. Didn't he say Instagram?
Was it Instagram? Maybe. Instagram. And they permanently disabled my account. Okay, cool. Good catch on that. I must have overlooked that. All right, so here's Donald Trump introducing the special guest of the hour.
Astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Yes, take over.
Put a chick in it. Make her gay.
Hi, everyone. As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA. Well, first of all, I want to say what an honor it is to be here. And, you know, the true test of someone's character is how they behave under fire. And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and another who was fist pumping after getting shot. Fight, fight, fight. Blood coming down the face. Now, America is the home of the brave. And there's no truer test than courage under fire. So who do you want representing America? Yeah, absolutely. And I think this election, I think it's the most important election of our lifetime.
Oh yeah.
This is no ordinary election.
Oh yeah.
The other side wants to take away your freedom of speech. They want to take away your right to bear arms. They want to they want to take away your right to vote effectively. You got 14 states now that don't require voter ID. California, where I used to live, is just passed a law banning voter ID for voting. I still can't believe that's real. So how are you supposed to have a proper election if there's no ID? It's just meaningless.
All right. So, as I was saying, the Yankees were terrible last night, but they still found a way to win. Garrett Cole was terrible. Those 3 balls in the first inning, they were all hit like missiles. The first one almost went out. The second one went into the gap. What was going to go into the gap for a double, if not a triple. Third ball was a line drive hit right at Aaron Judge. Then they had second and third, nobody out. First inning, didn't score. The only reason the Royals didn't rally in the second inning because they sent Perez around third base with nobody out and got him thrown out at home. The Yankees were blowing opportunities all night, and yet they still found a way to come. Oh, I'm sorry. What was the segment? Oh, is this rally here? This the most important election of our lifetime? It's so boring. I mean, they are so boring and banal. And you're right, just the fawning over Elon Musk. That the fact that there's a crowd of working people out in the middle of Pennsylvania. These are ordinary people. I have nothing against these people. But they come out here and they clap.
Montgomery Burns for president.
I mean, yeah, man. Like it's just so depressing. It's so depressing. And notice there's nothing about anything that was said at this rally that has gone viral, except the Trump thing with as I was saying, that's a clever thing, fine. But what is this is why I say it's about global neoliberalism versus feudalism. This is just a bunch of working people worshiping at the feet of Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who talks about free speech in this speech here. How many accounts are banned on his platform that should not be banned? He shut down the uncommitted account as a troll during the convention. During the Democratic convention, he suspended their account and then released it after it was over. This is a guy who's committed to free speech. He caved in Brazil. That's a story that's nowhere to be found on Twitter. Interesting. Interesting that a story about Elon Musk's pussying out on free speech would be suppressed on Elon Musk's ostensibly free speech platform, and apparently here on YouTube as well. Jimmy did a segment on that got no traction whatsoever, despite being a big story.
Yep.
Which
honestly, I don't understand that.
I don't understand that. And then did a segment about how it got no traction and sneakily put it in the video, and that video got traction because it wasn't in the metadata. So it wasn't that there was no interest in the story. It's that obviously we're not supposed to know that story. So, look, like I said, I'm going to try to be in better spirits tonight. But when you look at this and you look at Kamala, God, is it depressing. God, is it depressing. I mean, there's just no moment where you can kind of come up for air and even breathe any sort of optimism whatsoever. I mean, it's just a downer. It's just a downer. What at this rally was significant except for the fact that he was going back to the place where he was shot, and there's this big sort of cult of personality now around him and what a hero he is for going back. And like I said, it was a good decision to go back. It worked. But where are the viral moments of what was actually said? You have Elon Musk here, right? The Ubermensch of the First Amendment. Where are the viral moments of what's actually said? Instead, he goes viral for a different reason, which Russell has here to break down some of the significant imagery of this event.
All right. So there have been a few iconic images in the course of our noble history as a nation that you can't look at without feeling the era that they were taken in. I don't know where you have the slides.
Oh, it's right here.
So you can't see this without thinking about the post-war world and everything that goes with it. Another iconic photo, Ali's knockout of Sonny Liston on countless dorm room walls to this day, with Ali representing so many of the conflicts of the 60s and its contradictions and its hopes and dreams. I think we got a picture out of last night that will be considered equally emblematic of the age that we live in. Yes.
Yep.
I think this captures the moment that we are in better than any image I've ever seen. 2 billionaires, one of them levitating in excitement for the idea of his fellow billionaire ruling over the poor slobs in the stands who have been deluded into a kind of Randian economics that tells them that these two being on top and unfettered is the best thing for the country and the best thing for them. It's the best thing for them. They're showing their manhood, their patriotism by putting these two up on a palanquin and carrying it around in an open field in Butler, Pennsylvania, being slavish devotees of billionaires makes you a man. Makes you a man. That's, I just marinated in these people for a few days out in DC. And yeah, man, it's it is a kind of nationalism. And if you caught Russell Brand and Jordan Two Faces act, that Christian nationalism is taking on a very bizarre and uniquely American form with these people. It's this weird amalgam of a kind of bizarre online Christian nationalism with this eat raw meat and work out and pray to Jesus and Elon is God and buy a cyber truck and Trump's fighting the deep state. It's just this whole confluence of forces. You know what it is? It's making Mussolini's version of fascism look smart.
Right.
It's a particularly American variety of old fascism. It's our take on it. And yeah, it's I feel bad for these people in this crowd who actually believe that this is the answer. But there is such a great human impulse, as you've probably discovered from some of the feedback on some of your takes. People need to believe in something.
Right.
They need to believe in something. And certainly I don't blame people for not believing in the deep state avatar that is Kamala Harris or serial liar Tim Walz. But this is not the answer, folks. This is not the answer. What the Teamsters just did, that's the beginning of an answer. It's hard, and it's going to require personal responsibility and thought, not just relinquishing your thought to a bunch of influencers. Listen, this is what you got to understand. I always say, I'm Charlie Bucket. I got inside the chocolate factory. I'm one of you. I got on the inside. I can tell you, when you go to a Rescue the Republic, what are these people that you admire? Some people admire. Talking about building their brands, man. That's all you are to them. They don't give a fuck about you. They are all trying to figure out how to make more money and get more visibility.
Exactly.
That's all that's going on there. They don't give a shit. I'm telling you, I'm there. I see what goes on. I hear what people, I'm backstage, man. I'm right there. These people don't care about you. They care about them and building a business on your back.
Right. Russell Brand wants to introduce his audience to Jordan Peterson, so Jordan Peterson can introduce his audience to Russell Brand.
It's all networking and making money off you, man. That's
all it is. 100%, and I agree with that 100%, and I think you're 100% right. This photo does encapsulate perfectly the ethos of our time, not just this election, but our time. And understand, this pathology is just as present on the other side, on the Democratic side. We did a segment earlier in this show, the libs losing their mind over this 26-year-old pop star not endorsing who they want. It's the same thing, just this fealty to people who exist on a different strata of society than you and are not invested in you whatsoever. And that is just what's so frustrating. And that's why I project what comes off as black-pilled sentiment as often as I do around this election, because that's the reality as it pertains to this election. We should support these union strikes. We should be in solidarity with each other to help each other, empower each other, and build better lives for each other. But this is pathetic. It's pathetic. It's pathetic on the Democrat side. It's pathetic here. What the hell are you doing? You jumping up and down for Elon Musk? Yep. For Elon Musk? Like Tim Pool shows up in his Cybertruck. It's feudalism. That's what it is. Yep. This is feudalism. That is their idea. That is their big plan in a nutshell.
Techno-feudalism.
Absolutely. And I understand totally the impulse to want to go out and vote for Donald Trump, given a lot of what's been happening in our space over the past few days. People being censored on behalf of a global order that is truly evil, truly pushing evil ends. Donald Trump, the man, if he had his druthers, would probably do away with that. I personally think he's too weak to put up a real effort there. But you could say at least there's a chance with Donald Trump, and in the privacy of a voting booth, if he's your lesser evil option, I think that makes sense. If that's where you want to go, that's your choice. I think you could make a case for that. But there's a difference between saying, okay, I can make a case for Donald Trump as a lesser evil in the privacy of a voting booth. There's a difference between that and pissing in my face and telling me it's raining. Yes. It's not raining. This is a stream of piss straight to the face. And what we can't do as commentators is tell you differently, because
and as a man with 3 boys, he knows a thing or two about a stream of piss to the face.
To the face, exactly. And so as commentators with an audience and a platform whose words reach people, I can't tell you any different. I can't tell you any different. And it is just truly, it is pathetic. I mean, it is a sad thing. It is a pitiful thing to see a country that was born of a certain frontier spirit just devolve into 2 cults of personality where the bases are more concerned about currying favor with people who would not piss in their face if they were on fire. And that, like I said, that exists on both sides. That obsession with celebrity, that cult of personality exists on both sides. And there are just no solutions to be found in a voting booth this year. That's what I really think. I mean, why are there no memorable lines from this rally? Why didn't anything anyone said go viral? Nothing. Just the giant. It is just hero worship. Now, you want to say, well, the guy was shot, give him a break. Okay, fine. But what? Nothing? We don't get anything of substance to take away from this, except Elon Musk go up there and make these very superficial statements about free speech when he just suppressed his own. He just caved on free speech. Rumble doesn't cave on free speech. He did. He did, because Brazil was going to cut off his Starlink contracts.
Cut off the Starlink contracts.
And so he caved to them. You know, he still has a lot of people arbitrarily banned on his platform. It's just a nightmare. It really is.
Look, on both sides, top to bottom, all across this whole spectrum, these are all influencers. Elon, Trump, they're at the top of the pyramid of influencers living off your money, living off your attention, living off your clicks, living off the fame that you give them. And the 2 different sides, they pitch to a different kind of person. You know, the people who are attracted to the Democrats, they're a certain type of neurotic. They're a certain type of modern neurotic, safetyist neurotics who really want to be told what to do in that way. And then on the other side, it's appealing a lot to men with, I think, a justified anxiety about a loss of masculinity and purpose. That's why so much of this, build up your body and take
Right.
these supplements, and that's why so much of that gains traction in that space. But I'll tell you, man, if there's a common thing among all these people, whether it's Trump, whether it's Elon, whether it's lesser lights who hope to aspire to something like their level, it's that they'll never tell their audience anything that's going to cost them a nickel. That's it. All of these people, if there's one common denominator, it's that they will never tell you the truth. They will tell you whatever shit they think is going to further their own power. That's their yardstick. I've said this before. I used to drive a horse and carriage. And, when you're doing that for hours every night, you think a lot about the nature of that relationship. And something I thought about a lot that I still do. A lot of the world is people trying to make you a horse pulling their wagon, whatever it is, their political project, their business, whatever it is, man. The world's full of people who want to harness you up and use your time, your energy, your life force, your youth, especially when you're young. You get a lot of people who try to take advantage of your naivety and get you to work on their shit. Never be that horse, man. Never be that horse. Always ask yourself, am I the horse right now? And if the answer is yes, get out of that situation. These people all want to harness you up and use your limited time on this earth to further their own ends.
Yeah, well, that goes for a lot of people, including the bosses of a lot of these people who are in this crowd. And on the problem of stolen masculinity, because that is a huge part of this grift, right? Is that there's a war on men, and so you have to take this testosterone supplement, and you have to, work out this, eat your red meat and whatever. Which, once again, that is politics as lifestyle brand. Just as, libs sort of co-opt a lot of the LGBTQ stuff to as a substitute for political involvement. Same thing here. Politics through self-improvement. What they don't tell you is that working class men are getting sicker and dying younger, not because the Ghostbusters remake was an all-female cast. No, that's not why they're getting sicker and dying younger. I'm sorry. If you listen to Jordan Peterson, he would have you think that. The reason they're getting sicker and dying younger is because they're poorer, because their bosses are paying them less money, and their bodies can't work, those extra hours for those extra years. They break down, they get sick, and they die younger. And does Elon Musk consider that a big problem? No, he does not. Does Donald Trump think of that as a big problem? No, he does not. Do they ever talk about that? Do they ever talk about the fact that working class men are dying younger because their bodies are breaking down because they're forced to work with their hands longer hours for lower wages, and their health simply cannot keep up with that? No, they won't tell you that. They'll tell you it's because the culture has turned against them. And there is some truth to the fact that the culture has turned against them, but that's not why working class men are in the position they're in. They're in the position they're in because they're being exploited by capital. And good luck hearing anything of that sort on this stage.
Well, then in a lot of these jobs, they're exposed to a lot of toxic shit, man. My best friend, he passed away from cancer. And I think a lot of that, because it's very common where I come from, and I've had an interesting experience because I grew up with people who do those kinds of jobs, but then I went to college. And if you look at the death rate of people I went to college with and people I grew up with, it's no comparison. A lot of people I grew up with are dead already. Right. People I went to college with, they're alive.
Right.
They're alive. They're not working with sheetrock dust all the time. They're not working with these paints, with these oils, with these chemicals. And also, a lot of times, working class people, out of frustration, they cultivate unhealthy habits. They'll drink too much. They're still smoking much more than the rest of the population.
Yep.
That sadness of that life will drive you to drink. It'll literally drive you to drink.
and to smoke. When I worked at the UPS warehouse,
Yep.
we were sometimes working 7-8 hour shifts because I worked a seasonal job during the holidays, during the COVID Christmas when demand was through the roof. You work 7-8 hours, they give you one break for 10 minutes. That's it. 1 10-minute break.
Right.
For an 8-hour shift of hard manual labor in the freezing cold in the middle of the night. You know what people did on those 10-minute breaks? Most people at that warehouse smoked.
Yep.
They're busting their ass, lugging shit. You think you'd want to breathe some fresh air during the 10-minute break that you have to rest your body? Nope. Right to the cigarette.
No,
Right?
it's because your brain
Exactly.
thinks that it's getting some kind of gratification.
Right.
Please clap.